It's circling, it's circling, it's circling. Hey, hey, hey. Hey. We are live. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome into my YT family, to my Facebook family, and to my, of course, TikTok family, which is my predominant home. Okay. We got a special relationship going on. So peace. This is All Things Self-Mastery podcast here where we delve deeper into the topics, discussions, highlights of all things self-mastery. What do I mean? When it comes to this reality, I always say you're going to do two things. You're either going to master self or you're going to continually be mastered. So here on this podcast on Thursday evenings, we come and we still talk about all things self-mastery. However, we just talk about it in a different way. So we highlight the most controversial, hottest topics, hottest questions out there, and we give perspectives. Like I said in the beginning, it is not to shame, it is not to bash, it is not to crucify, it is not to throw dags at one another. It is all to gain perspectives. And so sometimes we use topics like, hot topics that are going around, viral conversations, right? And so this evening we are going to be talking about what is love, right? Hold on one second. I need my lotion because my hands are ashy. Hold on. I washed my hands, so I don't like having ashy hands, ashy body, ashy anything. So let me just grab my. So listen, as you come in, don't be shy. Don't be shy. If you have a question, by all means, please share it. If you have a perspective, something you want to share, please do share it. Continue to tap the screen and share it live, right? So welcome in, Winston. So as I was saying, there are a lot of conversations that are being had about what love is, what it isn't, right? And because I understand a lot of things, just like you do, just like we teach, right? Because if this is not your first time here, we know that there are always two sides to a story. It's not just some things are one sided, other things are black and white. There's really no gray area. And so when we discuss certain things, it is important to gain awareness. It is important to have other perspectives. And so I'm going to be playing the conversation and we're going to discuss it. Hopefully, because I'm not showing any images, this is for educational purposes only. We're going to be, I'm going to play it, but I'm not going to show it on the screen because I don't want to get my page blocked or banned or get any. Hi, Ashi. How are you, my love? Hi, beautiful. I don't want to get my page blocked. And so I want y'all to share in because when it comes to this thing called love, baby, there are so many perspectives, there are so many narratives, there are so many people who feel really strongly about what love is and what it isn't, right? And why are these things important? Why are these things important for us to discuss? Because our people perish for the lack of knowledge. If you do not gain, grasp, or understand something, how can you logically come to the wisest conclusion when it comes to making decisions in your life, right? And so with all of the conversations and a lot of them, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like you got to be fucking kidding me. So you think that your perception, your definition, and your meaning of love is the it all be all, that everybody else's perspective, that everybody else's way of viewing love, feeling love, talking about love is absolutely inaccurate. And that's not wise, my loves. That's foolish. That's absolutely foolish. So I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm just not going to share my perspectives, right? Verbally or inwardly, right? In my eternal dialogue, I'm going to bring it to us so we can gain deeper perspectives on what it is. And so for those of you who are used to me, I always have a little presentation, baby. So if you want to see the presentation, you can hop on over to ATM, which is All Things Self Mastery Podcast. There's a link in my bio that'll beam you up, hopscotch you right on over. So we're talking about what is love, right? And so in this interview, even though they're speaking about, I don't, damn, you know what? I don't even know if I can, hold on, let me see if I can play yeah, I can play it. So even though they're speaking about the relationship with the Latruce, right? And I didn't even realize that Kevin Wesley was Latruth. I don't know his first name, but I didn't realize that they were brothers. Did y'all know that? I didn't realize that Kevin Wesley and the other guy and the Latruth was brothers. I did not realize that until I listened to Tasha K interview. So I'm going to play a little bit of the interview and we're going to give our dialogue. And I'm also going to share with you what I came up with as far as what's on the presentation. So we're going to be discussing that. Thank you, Alicia, for liking and for sharing, right? So let's listen to this.
Come watch, his initial show. And so what we did was, just to kind of give some backstory, was I ended up recording the video with him. Now I had gotten the information that I had gotten from Brianna Latruth before he was even introduced. And so they had said that, she had been abused, and she kind of wants to do this rollout. She doesn't know any other, blogger, insider online that could kind of help spearhead this, thing that she wanted to do, kind of help boost her YouTube career and stuff like that.
So it did not go that way. This is not an everyday type of reminder, okay?
Okay.
Whenever he's doing all that he can to make her happy, and he really was, okay? Now, it may be buying her things, taking her places, but that's what he knew to do. That's what she asked for. So when he's doing those things and she's still complaining, this man is now saying, let me put my value on the table. I do this for you. I do that for you. This isn't him rubbing it in her face. See, it's really difficult dealing with what I call an emotional terrorizer.
Okay.
You can try to explain to them your value, but it will come off as insulting them. So if you say, I do all this, and you're still ungrateful, to her, I'm ungrateful. It's nothing.
So in this part of the interview, Tasha K is sharing her perspective sharing her perspective in regard to Mr. Latruth owning up to the part that he played in the demise, quote unquote, demise of the relationship, right? And a little further on, he starts to Wesley begins to express like he loved her, he really loved her, and then he proceeded to elaborate on what he actually think love is, which is perception.
He has to say when she's sitting here and she's emotional terrorizing, creating toxic or just literally letting these toxic ideas to come to her mind, but she's building on them. She's sitting here thinking about how bad of a person he is. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. He's not doing this. I believe a good person, not even a good wife, but a good person, remind themselves of all the things that he is doing. Okay, he's came into my life and he's given me a much better life. He's not cheating on me. He is a great father to my children. My sons get to see an example of a hardworking man. No, he isn't the example that my father was to me, an in-home father, but he is a great father nonetheless. Now, there are men out here who go off and be in the military and they die for this country, and we see that as great for giving your life for this country. I see it as cannon fodder. Okay? This man is being used to die for rich people.
Peace, Taisha. How are you, love?
And when he dies, they bring home a nicely folded.
How are you, Teresa?
A flag, and he's a hero. But because he's created his own life, and he doesn't have to go to work for somebody. Now him going to work is neglecting her. He's been a workaholic. That's how he amassed.
He's defending his brother.
Because she says, okay, this is a capable man, capable of leading me and my family, because if it's not that, you shouldn't have married. So if you trust him to do that, why wouldn't you allow him to do that? He's already successful.
Now keep in mind that from what I've gathered from watching Kevin Wesley and his polygamous relationship, Kevin Wesley has a very patriarchal mentality, even though he would disagree with that. In a lot of his talks and a lot of his speeches, he does, even though he says he no longer follows religion, and that's where his fame came about. That's where his recognition and his notoriety came about. Him leaving the Christian religion, realizing and becoming aware of a lot of things, especially the association and the correlation it has with the patriarchal system. And so a lot of his mentality, his dominant mental programming still suggests that he's still under the guise of patriarchy, because why would a person in his mind say that when a woman finds a man, or when a woman gets married, her value increases. What does that sound like to you? Did you hear it, Danae? What does that sound like to you? So already we have to take into account that the perspective coming from Wesley is heavily engulfed in patriarchy, is heavily engulfed in superiority, as far as the man is the head, the man is the leader, and the man is the one that gives the value. The man is the one with all the resources. It's all about the man, the man, the man, the man. And then he sprinkles a little bit, well, the woman is supposed to be respected and admired. And but once when he's talking about the foundation of family, it's all centered around the man being the head, the man being the lead, the man being the resourceful one. The woman is only elevated when she finds a man. Baby, that's not how it go, right? And that type of mentality has gotten us into a lot of backwards thinking.
He's proven himself by making you successful. You're now in a situation that you likely wouldn't have been in. She wanted to continue nursing. He talked her out of it. They argued about that. That's what I'm saying. She comes into his life. She sees that he's a man of value, or that he has resources. He's accomplished enough for himself for her to be worthy, okay, of leading her. Now, this is what a wife should do. She gets with a capable man. Okay, so now he gives you advice. I don't want to hear that advice. I want to argue. Peace. That's not peace.
It was so hard for him to give a female credence as anything but being under submissive. Absolutely. It was completely like, what? I agree. Peace, Paris. How are you, love?
You got your goals and your dreams. I get all of that. But you finally listened to him. And now you see that he was right. Look at your life now. And you're still complaining.
But I mean, she could have had
I mean, is it
nurse too? I mean,
and Tasha brings up a very valid point, right? And Wesley actually says that, yeah, he talked her out of following her dreams, right? She could have very well been just as happy, just as successful with pursuing her career as a nurse, but because the husband, the one with all the resources, the one that knows better, the one that is the leader, the one that is the sole provider, the one that is the head, because he says and he thinks and he perceives that there's another way that is better than your way, then it's supposed to be that the wife follows the husband. And that's the type of mentality that has gotten us into a lot of unfortunate circumstances that we're in right now. Is that type of mentality and that type of programming that has led us to an increased imbalance, not only with us as individuals, but as a collective, right? So yes, absolutely. So Tasha is explaining to him like, well, he convinced her to not follow her dream, something that at the time, and again, we're only given a perspective based upon what they're talking about, right?
That are nurses that make well over 6 figures plus.
They don't make what Brianna's making right now.
I get that, but I'm thinking Brianna knew what she wanted to be, and he talked her out of doing that.
Well, when you can become someone's wife.
And here's the thing, in that whole interview, it would have been it would have been incredibly challenging for me to have an interview with someone that does not have a discipline in controlling their responses, their reactions, right? The things that they want to say. Through the whole interview, he continually interrupted Tasha sharing her point of view. It was all about, and this is what I mean, we have to pay attention to not only verbal cues, but we have to pay attention to non-verbal cues. You understand what I'm saying? It is very challenging to have a conversation with someone who is only thinking about dominating the conversation, with having a conversation with someone who wants to control the conversation, having a conversation with someone who only wants to hear his perspective and force his perspective on other people. It is very challenging to have a conversation with someone that isn't, who claims to be mature and have emotional intelligence, right? And have comprehension skills, that constantly has to interrupt, like just like a child. It's like, come on, I gotta get in, I gotta get in, I gotta get in. No self-discipline at all. No self-discipline at all. Mind you, he has 2 wives sitting on the side of him that have only said a total of 10 words between the both of them. You understand what I'm saying? So instead of it being a healthy conversation, a healthy dialogue, you respond, I respond. You share your perspective, I share my perspective. You allow me to share the perspective depending on that particular thing, and then you respond. It didn't go that way. Just listen.
What do you think that is? If you say, okay, I see this man.
His tone speaks volumes. Yes, Alicia.
Well,
It was.
be a nurse. You have to understand, relationship is the most important thing that you're going to have. Your legacy is linked to that. When we become career oriented, we put careers over our family. That is not the way to be.
As a man, but as a woman, and see, this is where
The woman put the career over.
And that's another thing. Who said that that's not so? Where did we get this concept of that's not the way it's supposed to be? Where do we get this concept from? Who initiated the way things are supposed to be? Who initiated the behaviors that we are supposed to display? Who initiated the way we're supposed to talk, the way we're supposed to walk, the way we're supposed to think, the way we're supposed to engage with society? What does that sound like to you, other than a dictatorship? So are you really following your own mind? Who says that a woman cannot follow her dreams, pursue her dreams, and simultaneously be a mother, a wife, a significant other, a partner? Of course, there's going to be areas of compromise. Of course, there's going to be areas of bending a little. Of course, there's going to be an experience of both sides of the spectrum. Of course, but who said that it's supposed to be one way and one way only? And the only thing that we know is that is a patriarchal, lopsided concept that says the woman has to be submissive to the man. It has to be that the man is the head, the man is the lead, the man is the resource. The man. While you simultaneously also just giving a little bit of sprinkle, right? Just giving the people a little bit what they want to hear. So it would kind of throw off the ignorant to who you really are. And that's a self-centered, patriarchal follower.
She said, I want to be a nurse. This is what I want to do. She married a man and told him what type of job she wanted to do.
What's the problem with that? I mean, do y'all hear this shit? She married a man and then told him what type of job she. So when you get married, that means I'm your slave. So when you marry, that means that you're my master. So when we get married, it means that I have to give up all of my hopes and my dreams. I have to give up my voice. When we marry, I have to give up all of these things. So what is that telling? Right? So is that what it is? What does that sound like? Right? What's exactly, Taisha, what's wrong with a woman still wanting to follow her dreams, pursue her passions, and still wanting a significant other? Where is the concept that the two becomes one? It did not say that once the two become one, that the other side has to follow the other. That shit just don't make sense. Who made that up? Constantine made that up. He called all the scholars that he knew from around the world, And they had a meeting of the minds in the Council of Nicaea. And he said, listen, I want everybody to beat to my drums. I want my philosophies, my principles, my concepts, my laws to be the ultimate law. He put all of those things in a book. And then he gave it to the world. And we're still following that same idiocracy, unnatural order today.
We disagree.
If you trust a man and you see this man is capable for you, if he's not the man for you, why would you marry him and then say, I don't want to leave my job? I don't actually truly want to trust you.
I don't think that has any.
Calm down, Venus. So just because you trust someone, when you trust someone, does that mean that you no longer has a voice? I didn't know that. I know, Alicia. Listen, burns. It burns. So when a person says, I trust you, does that equate to, I want you to be my master? Now I have to listen to only your direction. When a person says, I trust you, that does not mean that you get to dictate my every action. It does not mean just because I trust you, you get to master me. You get to spearhead my life. Me saying I trust you is also trusting you to respect me, to hear me, to include me, to listen to me, to not exclude me, right? Trusting you to do all of those things, right? Why would it be filled with gifts and talents to do nothing with them because you're married? Right. So you hear the hypocrisy? You hear the hypocrisy, any just the idiocracy in this type of logical thinking. And I'm so glad, even though I don't, and we're never going to totally agree with everything that everybody does. And you're not for everybody, I get it. However, maturity says that you can still agree to disagree. Maturity and wisdom says that you can chew the meat, spit out the bones. Maturity and wisdom says that just because you may not be so fond of a person does not disqualify when they're actually speaking words of wisdom, when they're actually speaking logical, making logical sense. I can still respect what you're saying if it's wise, if it's logical, if it's not biased, if it's righteous, if it has good intent behind it. Right. And so I was very proud of Tasha K for standing on business, for standing her ground and using logic and saying, hey, now, right, this doesn't make sense. I agree with you. I respect what you're saying because that's you. Right. I don't own the rights to your paths. I don't own the rights to your decision. Right. And so she's given him that type of respect. But when it comes to him receiving her perspective, it's all about no, this is not how it's supposed to be. A woman is supposed to give up who she is. A woman, when she marries a man, supposed to trust him with her everything. It's supposed to follow his every footsteps. That sounds like a slave, not a wife. Just call it what it is. It's called the slave. It's called the doormat. It's not called a wife. You connecting and finding your wife or husband does not mean that you're the master of them. It does not mean that you get to dictate their every move. It does not mean you get to silence them. It does not mean that you don't get to honor them the way they want to honor you and is honoring you. That's not what it means. And a lot of you know why this really burns me sometimes? It does, it annoys me. It annoys me sometimes too, because you have so many preachers and teachers and relationship gurus and masculine masters and sex masters and relationship masters and femininity masters and gurus and coaching, right? And we're so easily swayed, but they are not. They are, when I tell you they are unqualified, I do not mean qualifying meaning they have a stamped piece of paper saying that they qualified, meaning that they themselves have not yet arrived to the level of consciousness or awareness, the level of discipline, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, as far as deeper, higher spiritual principles, as far as principles and laws that actually govern who we are and what we do. They don't have a clue as to the deeper reasons as to why we do the things we do. We're still talking about what is love, right? Because love is one of those topics that are the head of the topics. It's one of the top fives. We're talking about love. We're talking about sex. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about femininity, masculinity. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about money. These are the things that we're talking about. And one of the reasons I find that we keep choosing to be insane, we keep having the same conversations with this, talking about the same points, right? We keep having the same conversations with the same people talking about the same surface level shit. And guess what? Things are not staying the same. Things are getting worse. Peace, sis. How are you? Quiet. Hi. Hi, beautiful. Hi, Tamika. How are you, my love? Right? And so things aren't getting worse. And you have these so-called people. It's not social media's fault. It's not microphone's fault. Yes. It's a platform. It's not TikTok fault. It's not FB fault. It's not IG fault, right? No, the fault is the individuals. Us as individuals and us as a collective. So when we're saying we want to be a part of the elevation and the expansion and the ascension of us as a collective, as a people, as individually, the things we do not understand continually cause us to further self-destruct. So we have a whole lot of unqualified people misguiding individuals that are still very, very impressionable, right? Very, very impressionable. Do you know how many people who are listening to Wesley? Do you know how many people are listening to Tasha K? Do you know how many people who are listening to Cardi B's and your Megan Thee Stallions? Do you know how many people are listening to your Ayanlas? Do you know how many people are listening to the Obamas? Do you know how many people are listening to politics? It all matters, which is why even though I didn't feel like coming on tonight, I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I go there too. And it's like, fuck this. However, for a variety of different reasons, I'm going to be committed to my commitment. I'm going to be committed to my commitment. I'm going to share what I know, what I was led and purpose to transfer, right? And those who are ready, willing to receive, right? Those are the ones I'm speaking to. So I'm not going to not show up because there's an abundance of stupid people roaming these internet. And I said it. I did say it. Stupid. There are a bunch of very stupid, ignorant, unwise, unqualified individuals. Peace, abstract, my love, right? That are causing us to further self-destruct. It all matters. Why? Because what you feed will gain power and what you starve will lose power. That's not just a cliche, my people. So how much are you really for the people? What does this fist bump mean? What does you raising your black hand mean? Black hand, white hand, purple hand, whatever hand it is. What does it actually mean for you to say, I love? Right? Because that's what we're putting that's what we're putting the emphasis on, love, right? I do this because I love you. I do this because I love me. I do this for the love of the people. You're doing everything for the love of self and for the love of people, but elevate, gain a deeper, more esoteric sense, excuse me, of all that influences our individual reality and our collective realities, right? I just watched the other day, and we're going to get back to the interview. I just watched the other day someone that I support, right? It's a someone that I support, and it always baffles me, even though I understand that you're not going to always agree with everybody. I get that. You're not going to always agree with everybody. Everybody's not going to always agree with you. We spoke about that, right? So making the long story really, really, really short, the person disagreed with me having someone on my panel, me associating with another person that person didn't particularly agree with because they had their own biases. And even though this person was even though this person is very intellectual, very intelligent, right? Quote unquote, all of the good things, right? That we want a person to be. You held a bias towards me, and you kind of like withdrew from your typical support of me. But then you go and associate because of the perception of who I am, right? Because I teach self-mastery, because I am who I am. And just like I told the man one time that was interested in me, oh, you're so sweet, you're so kind. I'm like, let me tell you something. Don't get used to that. Don't hold strongly to this perceived notion of who I am now, right? Because I am going to be, Venus is going to be whoever Venus needs to be when Venus needs to be her. So if you did something, if your behaviors tell me, show me that I need to approach you in a different manner, you're not going to get the same Venus from yesterday. You're going to get the Venus who's going to say, hold up now, okay? This is what we're not going to do. This ain't that, right? But back to, so this individual pulled back her support from me. And I can tell it wasn't enough to say something about it, but I can tell they pulled back the support from me. Meanwhile, the same person went and attached themselves to certain individuals who are claiming and also in a position of influencing, coaching, guiding, mentoring women and men alike, and flirting with damn near everybody that come in the panel. Very disgusting behavior. Very disgusting behavior. And this is the person you associated with. Let me tell you something. For me, I'm not associating myself. I don't care how much I may like you, liked you, how much I respect you. It doesn't matter how much I love me, therefore loving you. It does not matter. If you are my brother, sister, mother, cousin, grandma, auntie, uncle, whoever it is, baby, if I don't support pedos and you're a pedo, I ain't fucking with you. I'm not fucking with you. I can be in the same room with you if that's the situation, but I'm not going to put myself in the situation. You understand? So it's like it's like, okay, well, now I'm looking at you lopsided. And it's good to reevaluate. Tanya, how are you, my love? It's good to reevaluate and reassess your relationships. It's good to. So I'm witnessing these people, so-called coaches and mentors. And yes, I'm going to speak about it. I'm not going to call you out specifically, but yes, I'm going to speak about it. It's just it's disgusting, because the same influencer that's calling another woman a 304, a SLUT, the same woman who is crucifying publicly another woman, shaming another woman for the way she dresses, for the way she talks, for the way she do things, right? Especially for the way she dresses. Especially for the way she dresses. Meanwhile, when you come on this here internet streets, you got cleavage and titties everywhere. I said it. And let me tell you something. And that's no tea, no shade, no shame. No tea, no shade, no shame. Because I love my cleavage. I love my décolletage, okay? And I will show it, right? Oftentimes, y'all see my twins saying hi, okay? Sometimes they come with me on live. So I'm not going to crucify and shame another lady, another woman who may be showing the butt cheek or showing a little more than how you crucifying somebody else? Meanwhile, your titties out everywhere and your ass out everywhere. How you talking about a woman, or how you doing that? How are you trying to mentor other women as a relationship coach, a certified relationship coach? How are you coaching other women and you flirting with every woman that's coming in your life? Blatantly. Houseway. So yeah, I have issues with that. I have issues with that. Because every decision you make, every decision I make is going to have a greater impact. It's not just affecting you. Right? And those of us who are righteous, those of us who, right, aren't we also charged to speak the truth? Aren't we also charged to elevate? Aren't we also charged to take action and be about it? Because there's far too many people massaging and stroking stupidity and foolishness and poor behaviors for the sake of a what? Baby, stop. Stop. No integrity, no class, no integrity, no integrity, no integrity, no integrity, no integrity at all. Thirsty. But if that's the energy they want to attract, okay. Exactly. It's disgusting to me. It is absolutely every decision matters. And that's the thing. It's one of the encouragements. So let me tell you something. Shout out to me. Shout out to you. Shout out to all of the men and women who is speaking against, who is giving pushback to any person, place, or thing who is not on the right side of things, who is not on the mature side of things, who is not hypocritical, right? Who have integrity. Shout out to us. Shout out to us. Shout out to those who our standards and our boundaries aren't for sale. Shout out to those who, no matter how it makes us look in the limelight, we're going to stand on truth. We're going to stand on business. We're going to have and maintain integrity. And we're not going to be silent about it. Shout out to us, because it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to speak the truth. It takes a lot of courage because you have so many individuals who are so deaf, dumb, blind, don't have shit to live for. Because whenever you're speaking the truth, whenever you're calling a thing out for the thing that it actually is, it makes you a target. It makes you a target. So shout out to the individuals who are speaking the truth. Shout out to the individuals who understands that you can share your perspectives, you can teach, you can coach, you can mentor, right? You can share your wisdom, you can ask for a fair currency exchange without shaming people, without disrespecting people, without receiving pleasure from seeing other people in pain. Shout out to those who give righteous correction. Because there are those of us, right? I saw ATM and thought money. I love a play on words. I love a play on words. All things mastery. Coach Nessa, listen, I love a play on words, baby. I love a play on words. Hi, love, hi. That's Kevin up there. What I missed. Yes, I'm playing an interview with him, and the interview Tasha K did with him while we discuss what is love. While we discuss, it's so good to see you too, my love. So let me continue the interview, and we're going to like jump in as needed.
To do with trust, we're all like, what we contribute to this world, right?
If he's not the man for you, why would you marry him and then say, I don't want to be a nurse? This is what I want to do. I'm going to stay here and be a nurse. You have to understand, relationship is the most important thing that you're going to have. Your legacy is linked to that. When we become career-oriented, we put careers over our family. That's not the way to be.
As a man. But as a woman, and see, this is where...
You're welcome, love.
She said, I want to be a nurse. This is what I want to do. She married a man and then told him what type of job she wanted to do.
And...
see, this is where we disagree now.
She didn't marry Master.
And you see this man is capable for you. If he's not the man for you, why would you marry him and then say, I don't want to leave my job? I don't actually truly want to trust you.
I don't think that has anything to do with trust. We're all like, what we contribute to this world, right, is a part of our being. If we're not contributing to the world in a way in which we feel that our higher power has called us to do as women, as mothers, as husbands, you know what I'm saying, as fathers, I mean, it's kind of like you almost don't want to live. Like, I believe 80% of the depression, when people are depressed or when they have things going on, that is directly linked to them not being
authentic,
what it is that they want to do. And I think Brianna was inadvertently put into a position to make a choice. She wasn't ready for the amount of publicity that she got, because look what happened. This is nobody's fault but Robert's fault. You understand what I'm saying?
Robert's fault.
It's Robert's fault. And I say this. Okay. What do you do? What did you do for a living before you met her?
Kevin Wesley in the interview, he was expressing his disappointment. That was one of the words that was thrown out. He's expressing how he disagrees with Tasha's perspective and saying when she did an interview with his brother Robert LaTruth, that she feels that he needs to take accountability, right? And the part that he played in the quote unquote demise of their relationship, and that he should actually reevaluate the situation before they actually separate, right? Because when a person feels like they have exhausted all possibilities, which possibilities are endless. Again, we talk about perspective here. If that's your perspective, then guess what? That's what it's going to be.
Your husband. or Smash?
Well, I met him. I was in high school.
You was in high school.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
so-
what did you do before you met Smash?
I was in the banking industry basically.
Okay, so you did. I'm sure you. Is that something that you? Is that like? Was that ever your dream job to
No.
be a banker? Okay, what was your dream?
Honestly, to do what I do now.
Okay,
So I always wanted to teach in some shape, form, or fashion, but I didn't know what that was going to look like, and I didn't have it figured out, so I was working in the meantime.
but you knew in your heart like what you were called to do.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
before your husband entered the picture.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's what I'm talking about. Brianna knew what she was called to do, which was nurse. Nurses are seen, not heard. You know what I'm saying? And for him, and this is where.
Tap the screen, my loves. Please tap the screen. Share the live.
I'm just saying it's narcissistic traits when you don't take responsibility to see how you contributed to the breakdown of your marriage.
Thank you so much.
Your wife was trying to go one way, and that could have worked with you still doing what you're doing and her being a nurse. Then guess what? Your entire bag would have been protected because now you got two people that are in the limelight. One that doesn't have experience dealing with, social media and all the backlash and then all the good, all the praises. And she's reading comments of how great her husband is. And she's reading comments of how much he's disrespecting you. And she's taking this all in. And
so when it comes to Abstract says, I'm not sure how I feel about Tasha K sometimes, but she's doing her, I guess. And that's the thing, Abstract. That's the exact thing. And that's something that I mentioned early on. There's interviews, little clips, right? Because I'm not a frequent watcher of hers. There's certain clips that come across our way. And even though we may not agree with all of the person ways, their behaviors, everything that they say, how they approach and respond and react to things, of course, isn't going to resonate with us all the time. However, if the same person does something wrong, I'm going to say that behavior is quote unquote wrong, even though right and wrong is subjective. But just to stay in a fundamental, right, logical realm, right, level, I'm going to say, hey, that's not a very good behavior. If that same person does a good behavior, I'm going to also say, I like that behavior. That's a very good behavior. I'm not going to throw away the person simply because they're not doing everything that I deem a good behavior. So what is that saying goes, baby? When you're right, you're right. And when you're wrong, right? Because that's the thing. Meanwhile, I haven't agreed with a lot of the things that came across my hearing, right, with her. In this particular interview, there's a lot of things that she said that was wise, that was from a really higher level perspective. And so I'm going to give her flowers for that, right? But also a lot of times we tend to, when we don't like a person or don't really understand that we are viewing these people with a certain bias, that can inadvertently put us at a disadvantage, right? And so I know things are not always going to be as we want them to be. However, when you're operating with wisdom, when you're operating with self-mastery, understand that when you are mastering self, on the journey of mastering self, that encourages you, it should encourage you to now operate your thinking, your behaviors, and your responses differently than we would. Kaya, peace, my love. Thank you so much, right? So when it comes to love, we have so many individuals saying what love is, right? We have so many individuals sharing their perspectives in love. What are some of the common things? And I always like to, this is a conversation between us. What are some of the things some of the terms and words that we're using to describe love? How do you describe love? What is love to you? What is love to you? Because there's been conversations and narratives, right, that men are incapable of love. I know we all heard that women are incapable of love. I know we all heard that, right? Partnership of the heart. Danae, yes, partnership. But what are some of these terms when it's like, what is love? When we're asked that question, there are so many answers and so many responses centered around that question. What is love? What is love? Is it conditional? Is it unconditional? Right? Is it forgiving? Is it forgiveness? Is it unforgiveness? Is love selfish, selfless, selfful? Like, what is love? All of these narratives that are being spoken about, right? Even when I was doing a little bit of research, right, just to see what are some of the latest things that we are having conversations, what are the latest perspectives that are given centered around love, right? And there are very few that I found, right, that are very few that when I even put that up in a search engine actually gives a wiser perspective when it comes to love, right? Very few. Very few. So, love. And there's a lot of individuals who are saying what love is, right? And pressing their concepts, philosophies, perspectives, their POIs, their perspectives, opinions, and ideologies on other people. And I'm like, that sounds fucking crazy. You can't substantiate that. It's not substantiated. It isn't. It's not scientifically backed up. There is no evidence, esoteric or exoteric. There is no fundamental research or what they call that, studies that have been done that can substantiate men aren't capable of love, or love is just a feeling, or love is just an emotion. All of these different things. Why is this important, Venus? Why is this important, Venus? Thank you so much for sharing the light. Why is this important? Because if you continually choose, consciously or unconsciously, to continue navigating through the world, through life, without having information that you need, especially while you're in the season or on a particular level in life, you're going to keep failing. Now, I understand that we are all ignorant to a degree. We are. We don't know everything about everything. Just like a car, if you were in a car and you put your high beams on, your high beams are only going to reveal to you and reflect and project, what is it, 250 to 360 meters ahead of you. It's not going to give you the full scope and the advantage point. Guess what? But every 200 to 360 meters you get to, more is going to be revealed. So I understand that we're ignorant to a degree. But whatever season you're in, whatever level you are in, if you do not understand the level, if you do not understand the season, if you do not have the necessary information, guess what? You're going to keep on failing. And these are the things that we are not really grasping. Because you're not staying the same. You're not even just going backwards. Do the research yourself. I've showed y'all this in the past live. As living organisms, now this is scientifically backed up. As living organisms, if you are not growing, if you're not expanding, if you're not developing, you are literally self-destructing. So when we are literally witnessing people in ourselves that are deeply depressed, deeply stressed out, right? Dealing with psychological issues, dealing with all types of stresses, right? Constantly complaining and bitching and moaning and having frivolous, meaningless conversations over and over and over and running on that hamster wheel. That's the byproduct of self-destructing. Your organs are failing. Your mental cognition is failing. Your circadian algorithm is completely thrown out of whack. So yes, life is also purpose for you to have fun, for you to enjoy, for you to live and experience and explore. However, that's not all it's about. So every time you think something, every time you project something, every time you reflect, every time you consume, you become what you consume. Every time you think you doing just a little thing, every time you think you just, oh, it's just a little entertainment, it's affecting you. Every time you go in a fucking dysfunctional life, it's affecting you. Every time you engage with people who don't mean you no well, it's affecting you. Every time you forgive somebody that keeps slapping you upside your head, showing you that they don't care about you, it's affecting you. It's causing you to self-destruct. Every time you entertain foolishness, it's causing you to self-destruct. Every time you consume information that is not becoming of your higher self, it's causing you to self-destruct. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not. Please tap the screen because TT is asking me to verify. Let's tap the screen, my loves. Okay. Every single time. It doesn't matter how minute or how small, every decision you make is either causing you to evolve or devolve. Go check the facts for yourself. Even though, yes, I am extremely trusted. I've done the work. I've been doing this work for 15 plus years, baby. 15 plus years. And even though I don't post a lot of receipts of people that I helped, that's not my industry. Okay, I'm not going to twist your arm. I'm not going to force you. I flow. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But know that, hey, it's affecting you. And it's also affecting me. And it's affecting us as a collective. So yes, every time, even though I may not feel like it, I'm going to come and I'm going to share with you things that matter to not only you, but to us. So when it comes to this, what is love, baby? Do you really know what it is? Do you really know what it is? Are you truly loved? Lack of understanding breeds complacency and dysfunction. And we think it's cute. Kiki. Y'all supporting men trying to show you, teach you what it is to be a wife. Meanwhile, he flirting with every woman that comes in alive. Openly. Kiki. I just wanna ask, what do men like? I just want to ask, like, what is? Meanwhile, you're in you're participating and answering questions as a so-called religious woman, as a so-called woman of God, as a so-called intellectual woman, as a so-called queen and goddess, and you are on live worldwide for everybody to see and everybody to hear, allowing a man to ask you what turns you on in an open forum. But then you want that man or men to respect you. You out here being your unauthentic self. But I love myself, okay? I self-love. I love myself. Meanwhile, you seek gratification for destroying another sister or brother. And you doing the very same shit you talking about that they're doing. Make that make sense. Make that make sense, Sway. Come on, we talking about what is love, but we also talk about what? Well, accountability, right? Responsibility, right? Infinite gratitude, love. So even when I don't feel like it, I charge myself to make sure I still come because it's too much foolery. Y'all listening to the same fucking people, the same distorted people flashing luxury items in front of your face. Do y'all truly understand psychology? It has something to do with you. Read a book. Damn. Peace, love. Peace, King. How are you, bro? Read a book. Does a person really understand what love is? Does a person really understand what spirituality is? Meanwhile, in order for them to get your attention, in order for them to gain your trust, they have to continually keep you warped up in this materialistic world, all of the matrices that is keeping you enslaved. I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We talk about breaking free, right? We talk about taking accountability, right? We talk about being responsible. We talk about divine love. We talk about power to the people. We talk about divine femininity and divine masculinity, right? We talk about not being enslaved. We talk about breaking free from the puppet masters, right? We talk about breaking free. Meanwhile, y'all continually feeding and feeding and feeding and feeding and feeding the very distorted people, minds, and energies that causes, that contributes to the self-destruction. Right? Because it is more valuable. Materialism is more valuable than some of you all's life force and essence. Way more valuable. And then we want to talk about, oh, they done sold they soul. What the fuck you think you doing? Don't pardon my French. What do you think you're doing? Because that's psychological, unjust manipulation. To continually feed the narrative and the energies that you have to have material possessions in order to do what? Be seen, be heard, be in position, right? Elevate, expand. Be that girl or be that boy or be that boss-ish or that boss ninja. The same system you talking about breaking free from. It's the same system you feeding. But yet, oh my goodness, she loved me. Like, I love y'all. I really love y'all. Okay. I really love y'all, right? Come support, right? And come support. I'm gonna show you how to get this Gucci bag. I'm gonna show y'all how to get this Louis Vuitton. I'm gonna show y'all how to get the things. I'm gonna show y'all how to boss ish and baby, do you really understand what's happening to you? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Yeah, and it's okay. I know I'm gonna get I know I'm gonna listen. I know a couple of y'all may like I ain't fucking with her no more. By all means. Because the day I start giving a damn about me sharing the deeper truths, exposing is the day I was never named Venus. And as long as I'm on this planet, baby, you can, and it's all still love. It's all still love. Y'all have got to wake up. I know there's gonna be few people on this road that I'm on. I understand it. I definitely understand it. I definitely understand it. I had people that came through my master classes that I give, right, on the outside of this. I have come across people who said things like, I can no longer be a part of this course and this master class because people aren't liking me. I'm not going to be liked anymore. Because I'm teaching you how to be intelligent, because I'm teaching you how to master self, because I'm teaching you how not to be a people pleaser. Baby, if that's what you want to do, if you no longer want to be on the same road that I'm on, because I am going to challenge your every dysfunction. If you don't want to be on this in the same road, in the same vicinity, in the same universe that I am in, if I'm not going to enable your foolishness, it was nice. You know why? Because I understand that certain people, places, and things come to a completion. I understand being attached, but not attached. I understand these things. This is what self-mastery is about. Am I still going to feel the feels? Absolutely. Is the feels going to control me though? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because it's not about not feeling the feels. It's about not being controlled by the feels. I hope, did you clock that? Did y'all get that? Did y'all get that? It's the difference between someone saying, oh, you're in your ego. Of course I'm in my fucking ego. It's a part of me. That's like saying I have a left hand and not saying I have a left hand. It's not about destroying the ego, baby. It's about harmonizing. It's about controlling it, mastering it instead of it mastering you. See, we still backwards thinking. And that's still causing us to self-destruct. So yes, when I hear people speaking of things they're not qualified or do not deeply understand themselves, yes, that bothers me because you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. Whether you, it may be funny to you, but it ain't funny to me. Them consequences ain't gonna be funny when they turn that corner, when they show up on your block. Okay, them consequences. Let's see how funny it be when them consequences turn that damn corner and land on your block. Talk about Millie rocking on any block, baby. Keep playing. Yes, I know you got it. I know you got it. Keep playing with your life like that. Keep playing with your life force like that. Keep. Big Daddy Clovis, how are you, my love? Keep playing. Everything you do matters. Every decision, every thought, everything you do matters. Everything you do matters. I'm not going to flash a Louis. I'm not doing that. Do y'all understand what's going on in the world? Do y'all understand what's going on in the universe? I actually heard people say they don't like reading books. They don't like reading, period. This is why, I don't know who came up with that quote. Who in here do any of y'all know who came up with that quote? If you want to deceive, if you want to hide the truth, put it in a book. Who said that quote? Do any of y'all know who said that quote? Somebody put it in the comment section. Who came up with that quote? If you want to hide the truth, put it in a book. I want to say their name. I want to say their name. Yes, that's crazy. And it's lazy. And these things are hurting you. Every time I see a woman, every time I see a man who's hurting, every time I see a person who shows up, every time I hear these stories of just I'm just so tired of not being loved or loving and it not being reciprocated. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed out. I don't want a relationship no more. I don't want to be loved no more. When I hear people's pain, not even hear it, I sense it. No matter how spiritual you are, no matter how elevated you are, no matter which level of mastery you're on, we are all affected in some way to some degree. It does not matter. Just because I may be a high level, whatever it is, does not mean that I don't feel the frequency of the world, the frequency and the energy of my environment. Malcolm X said that. Listen, I knew somebody, I knew one of y'all knew. It's disheartening, right? However, I'm not that type of person that's going to coddle that. I don't feel sorry for no one. I don't have sympathy for no one. Y'all have to start understanding, wanting to understand what y'all talking about. Because it's affecting you and a whole lot of other people. I have compassion. So yes, I'm going to have compassion for what you're going through, but however, I am also going to charge you to truly be accountable. What part are you playing in this? What part are you playing? Because last time I checked, being a victim and being a victor is two different things. Being a master and being mastered is two different things. Being high and being low is two different things. Being on the right side or the left side is two different things. Yet all of them are the same thing. Choose. Are you empowered? Account. What part did you play? What are you doing? You are responsible for your reality. You're the one who put you in this position. You're the one who called all of these things to you for a reason, for very specific reasons. Nothing happens to you by coincidence, luck, or happenstance. Lack of knowledge. I always teach you, what you don't know continually hurts you, because what you feed gains power and what you starve loses power. What you consume, you become. That goes for everything, whether minute or grand. So many of y'all can keep playing with your lives or not, choosing to play with your lives or choosing to stop. Right? Yes, DB. It matters. It absolutely matters. So when we talk about love, loving each other, when we talk about what is love, right? Understanding deeper things, it is going to help you in so many ways. Because let me tell you something. I want to say this with all sincerity and compassion. I'm sure, bro. I'm sure. I want to say this with all sincerity and all compassion. If you are suffering and overwhelmed with depression, anxiety, stress, unhappiness, loneliness, I'm talking about deep states of complacency, mental fog, mental illnesses, or mental diseases. Let me tell you something. It is primarily largely because of the decisions that you're making. Whatever is in your heart. I'm not, and this is what I mean, the difference of people talking surface level shit rather than people talking deeper. When I say what's in your heart, I don't mean just love and contempt and envy and love and joy. I don't mean, I mean the frequency. Do you understand your body? Do you understand the fundamentals of biology, chemistry, quantum physics, all the things that you should know a little bit about because it's impacting you? Everything that you attract in your life, everything that you're going through in your life, the depression, the anxiety, the dysfunction, right? The stresses, even the love, even the joy, whatever it is in an abundance, the separation, the loneliness, the tiredness, the fatigue, all of that is because this is what this is the cause of it. Whatever it is, you are drawing all of those things to you. It's called coherence or incoherence. It's called heart and brain coherence. And whenever there's incoherence, guess what? You start to pull to you, attract to you according to what's magnetized in your heart. Guess how you're not going to fix it? By remaining ignorant. Because if you think just speaking affirmations is only going to do it, if you think just creating a pretty fancy, sparkly vision board is going to do it, if you think you can consciously reprogram your subconscious database, which is all the things that is feeding your magnet, your heart chakra, right? Drawing those things to you, the signals, it ain't gonna do it. This is why I always encourage y'all, stop listening to so many people. Stop it. It doesn't matter if they giving great advice, poor, it doesn't matter. You become what you consume. Everyone has a starting point. Everyone has a starting point. And if you're not skilled with silencing the noise around you, guess what? It's gonna disturb you. You're gonna be disturbed by it. A lot of you aren't yet skilled to be listening to certain conversations, to be watching certain things on TV, to be engaging in certain activities. A lot of y'all don't have yet the skills that you need. And what you're inadvertently doing is causing yourself to further self-destruct. And I'm sure a lot of y'all may not want to agree, but baby, the reality, the receipts of your reality isn't lying. Look at the state of us today. Look at the majority state of where we are as a people today. Hi, handsome. Hi, my heartbeat. That's actually my youngin'. Well, he's not young anymore. Hi, handsome. Hi, unique. That's my son's son. Yeah, my SON and SUN. That's always gonna be my young handsome. I used to not take that shit serious until I started recognizing a pattern and all I created. Ashe. Ashe. Correct. They may be listening, but they're not hearing you. It is always my hope that y'all hear me. It matters. So when it comes to love, right? Understanding the behaviors of things. Understand that there are thoughts, there's beliefs, there are chemicals, there are influences, there's the biological correlation, right? There's the physical aspect of the behavior. Now I'm talking about the behaviors of love, because a lot of us give our answer or our perception of what love is based on the behaviors that we've experienced dealing with how we perceive love. So the physical behaviors, we're talking about men and women who describe love on a physical as within a physical aspect, right? We speak about love from the root chakra. We speak about and perceive love only in our lower nature, in an actual gratification, right? That's the physical aspect of love when it comes to the behaviors of love, because that's what most of us are speaking about. We speak and articulate and answer the question, what is love, based on the behaviors is love, which is why a lot of us are confused as to what love actually is. And then you have a whole lot of people distorting what love actually is. You have a lot of people that are saying, oh, is this or is this? Both things can be true at the same time. So when we're talking about love, when we're wanting to gain a deeper understanding of what love is, you have to also look at, it's encouraged, it's wise for you to look at the behaviors of love on a physical, in a physical aspect, right? Also an attraction, from an attraction standpoint, from an attraction analysis, from the behavior analysis, right? And this is how we associate love depending on our experiences, right? When it comes to the attraction part of love as it pertains to behaviors, we're talking about appearance. A lot of us equate love to the appeal that a man or woman has to us on a physical level, right? Their body type level, what pleases us physically. That's the attraction part, right? A lot of us associate the behaviors of love with linking it to emotions or addictions or the sense of security. Let's tap the screen, my loves. Let's tap the screens. Let's take a pause for the cause. Let's tap to that, tap to that, tap to that, tap. Come on, let's pause. Listen, remember, I teach y'all. I always teach y'all, right? The significance of exchange. When you understand these fundamental universal laws and principles that all govern you, that determines whether you're what? Being mastered or mastering self. Give and exchange. It's not about receive, or take. It's about both. So whenever I do things with intention, right? And so I don't mind reminding you all, because our reminders need reminders most times, right? So yes, engage in exchange, especially because what you feed will grow and what you starve will lose power. This, my loves, is something that you want to exchange. It's something that you want to feed. It's something that's going to be returned to you. It's something that is going to matter. Yes, a little thing like tapping, yes. Remember, everything is an energetic exchange. Peace, Shadow. How my love? How are you? Everything is an energetic exchange. Infinite gratitude. Everything is an energetic exchange. Start being more cognizant and aware of what you're exchanging, and learn to have it on autopilot. The smallest of exchanges can be returned to you in the most grandest of ways. So when it comes to doing the little things, baby, do the little things, okay? Because they all matter, right? They all matter. So glad I got your book. Oh, how do you like the book? I'm so glad I got your book. Though, really want to thank you for showing up with the information. Oh, infinite gratitude. Listen, that's the most gratifying thing to me. It's not, pardon me, it's not the currency exchange that I receive, right? It's comments like that that is the most gratifying for me. So infinite gratitude, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Listen, I spent a lot of hours, energy, research, and thank you. I ain't gonna go on a tangent. Thank you so much. I agree. I'm still working on it. Infinite gratitude as long as you're working on it. Right. Thank you so much for sharing the live, beautiful. Right. So when it comes to anything that we're doing, if you do not put yourself in position to gain new information, guess what? Your behaviors are going to remain the same. When you don't understand fundamental things like mental reframing, mental programming, cognitive reprogramming, universal laws and principles which govern you, I'm talking about the esoteric and exoteric, I'm talking about as above, so below, as within, so without. When you do not understand these things, when you're not putting yourself in position, when you're not taking the steps to gain these fundamental principles, knowledge, information, guess what? You're still going to be running on that hamster wheel you desperately want to get off of. Because I don't know anybody in their right mind, anyone in their right mind who openly say, oh, I love being stressed, I love being depressed, I love being lonely, I love being hopeless, I love being pessimistic, I love being negative, I love being angry, I love being jealous, I love having contempt in my heart, I love not forgiving, I love holding on to traumas, I love being trauma bonded, I love going through. I don't know anybody in their right mind who openly says these things, even though they are acting on these things. So are you insane or are you not? Is you is or is you ain't? Come on, let's talk about real stuff. Let's talk about real stuff. Let's stop putting bandages on wounds, on cuts that are showing the meat. Let's stop that. Let's stop putting bandages on cracked pipes. Let's start to repair the pipes so they can stop leaking and leaking into other areas of your life. So when it comes down to attraction, when it comes down to manifesting, when it comes down to living a better life, realize that everything matters. Everything matters. Everything matters. Everything, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not, it doesn't matter your religion or not. It doesn't matter your sex or gender. It don't matter what you prefer to be called or not. It don't matter what you act like or not. It don't matter the degrees you have or don't have. It don't matter your relationship status. It don't matter how much zeros or that's a positive or negative in your bank account. It does not matter. As much as you being clueless to the things that actually matters. Did y'all catch that? Do you pronounce that Modal? Pardon me if I mispronounced your name. Peace. Welcome. This is all thing. For those of you who are just coming in, let me just give a pause for the calls. Okay. Let me just change the frequency real quick. Okay. Because we know how to switch it up. Okay. This is All Things Self-Mastery podcast and show. Right. And this is our Thursday evening podcast. And we always talk about all things self-mastery and everything that is under the umbrella. So no matter what it is or who it is you want to attract or manifest, whether it's peace, love, joy, health, happiness, no matter if it's a husband, wife, partner, no matter it's business, no matter what it is, it all falls under the umbrella of mastering self. And so here on this podcast, I am your host. I am your speaker. I am your mentor, your favorite mentor right now. Your favorite coach right now, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I share with you the 15 plus years of experience, not just exoteric experience, the exoteric experience and the knowledge and the wisdom. And we discuss all things, behaviors, intelligence, wisdom, spirituality. We talk about money. We talk about energy, frequency. We talk about neurodynamics. We talk about the biology. We talk about chemistry. We talk about a lot of things that have everything to do with you. Okay. And so this evening we're discussing what is love. So welcome YT family, TT family, FP family. Welcome. All right. So let's get back into it. Now, let's get back into it. So when it comes to all of these different things, it is very crucial for you to understand these fundamental things and for you to stop listening to people who don't know what they're talking about, period. Everything is not a game that's not going to cost you anything. Let me say that again. Everything is not a game that's not going to cost you. See, a lot of you are under the guise and you're treating life. You're treating life like a sim game. Okay? You're treating life as if you actually got 9 lives and you can keep redoing it and redoing it. Understand that I speak from a polar perspective. I speak from a dual perspective. It is both that and that. It is both that or that. Right? I love the book. Gotta get the master class for sure. Ashe, infinite gratitude. Are you live on the book also? Are you talking about face space? Are you talking about face BOOK? I am. I am. I'm actually streaming live. Okay, yeah. Yes, DB. I'm streaming live on FB and my YT right now and on TikTok. So I am triple streaming right now on different platforms. Peace Black, how are you, bro? Right? So let's get back to this, okay? Because this is good. Let me get back. Okay? So understand that a lot of us, when we're interpreting, a lot of us, when we are sharing our perspective or giving our meaning or our perception of what love is, it is coming from a behavioral standpoint because that's where we speak from our behaviors, what we've experienced, mostly in the past, because it is damn near challenging to speak of what you have not yet felt. That's a higher level, okay? That's where I'm encouraging some of you to get in my self-mastery teachings, but that is a whole nother evening, okay? So we're not going to go there, right? So a lot of what we discuss as far as love stems from what we've experienced, right? Which is why some of us are saying men are not capable of love, which is why a lot of us are agreeing that men aren't capable of love or women aren't capable of love or whatever the case may be. All of these misinterpreted, foolish concepts that are not proven, that are not substantiated nowhere. And the reason why a lot of y'all are bamboozled because y'all ignorant to the knowledge. So yeah, it's easy for somebody to just slap you across your head with the truth and a lie. It's easy because you don't know how to differentiate from the truth and a lie, especially when they both together. Let me tell you something. A lot of people are very skilled. A lot of people are very skilled. A lot of people are very skilled at speaking lies with the truth. And it's almost like you have to be able to separate the salt from the pepper in the same shaker. You understand that? I'm glad you're doing good, my love. You're welcome. Do you understand? Can y'all visualize that? Can you visualize salt and pepper in the same shaker? Can you imagine picking out every salt granule? Can you imagine picking out every pepper granule? Because they are granules. No matter how fine they are, they can be separated. But the smaller, whoo, baby, I'm talking. I hope somebody hear me. I hope you hear me. Depending on the size of the granule, depending on the size of the lie, it gets harder for you to be able to separate them. Depending on the granule of the truth, it gets harder for you to separate them. This is why you have to invest in a mentor that can help you. A lot of us need to know that no tree stands alone in the forest. I have guidance. I have mentors. I have therapists. Just because you don't see the trees hugging and kissing does not mean that they're not connected. Because you're only looking from a limited perspective. You're only looking from surface level. But once you go deeper, once you start to dig, you start seeing and feeling that all of these trees are connected at the root, that there is no such thing as separation. Stop thinking you can do it alone, because if you could, you would. Stop lying to yourself. You're making things worse. And guess what? You are the only one that's going to change things. You're the only one. I can make every step with you. If you're serious, I can take every step with you, depending on the season that you're in. But I will not take every step for you. Realize the difference in people that are telling you, I can get you here, I can get you here, with these superficial fucking steps. Because the more you stay attached and blinded by the matrices, look that word up, matrices, correlated with matrix, is not just a matrix, it's matrices. There are matrices within matrices because everything is infinite. Matrices. The longer you stay attached to these matrices, is the longer you keep failing, repeating, and things are not going to remain the same. Every life lesson that you are supposed to learn in this life cycle you're in the seasons within that life cycle that you're in, it's not going to remain the same, because every time you knowingly or unknowingly repel that lesson, ignore that lesson, disregard that lesson, lie about the lesson, the next time it come around, baby, and it's coming around, it's coming back around, it's going to intensify in the weight. What's that scripture in the Bible? Doesn't it say somewhere in the Bible where every new level there's a new devil, and the higher you go, the more devils that come? Like, the devil ain't just going to send one devil, he going to send 10 devils depending on how high you elevate spiritually. Doesn't it say somewhere in that book something about that, right? Yes, DB. I do I do offer one-on-one mentoring. You bringing me tears. That's a beautiful thing. Tears mean you are releasing something, whether you're aware or unaware. Yes, it's some crafty people out there. It is, Toya. It is. And so, yes, it does disturb me when I see the dysfunction, when I see other people misleading people, when I hear people say, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth because I love y'all. Meanwhile, they are stuck in a fucking matrix themselves. They just making it look real good. And a lot of us too damn deaf, dumb, blind, and docile to realize it. It's just a fucking illusion. It's a trap. It's a fucking trap. Y'all see a goddamn Chanel bag, a Fendi bag, a Louis Vuitton. Y'all see a person living this type of lifestyle and claiming to be happy and in love and all of these different things, claiming to like have it together and they bank account and just being. And I'm not saying there is nothing wrong with having wealth. Do not misunderstand me. There is nothing wrong with having wealth. Wealth is energy. Money is energy. Everything is frequency. I'm talking about being a slave to these things. I'm talking about misleading other people. That's what I'm talking about. Why do we have to learn the hard way? Why do we have to learn the hard way? Damn. That's a rhetorical question, by the way. Anyway, back to love. So when it comes to love, right, we have to understand that is when we perceive share our perspectives, it all stems from the behaviors of love. This is how we describe it. But there are what I call compartments, right? There's the physical part of the behaviors of love. There's an attraction part of the behaviors of love, and there's an attachment part of the behaviors of love. So under the physical part of the behaviors of love, we're talking about men and women who thrive heavily in their root chakra, in their lower nature, and protection mode, in their actual gratification, right? In their actual nature. When it comes to the attraction part, we're talking about men and women who thrive and who heavily operate in the appearance the appearance of love. They are heavily tied to the emotional emotional behavior. We're still talking about the behavioral aspect, right? Keep that in mind. And if you're on my YT channel, you're able to see the presentation, right? I'm gonna flip the screen so y'all can see. Hold on. This is what I'm oh shit. I didn't mean to do that. How do you flip the camera? Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. So this is the presentation. Like y'all can see me. Hey. So this is on my YT channel. So this is the presentation. That's the what I'm going over now. The behaviors of love. That's what I'm going through right now. So if you're on my my YT channel, that's what I didn't want to do that. That's what that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going over. Okay. Right. So, and then there's the attachment part of the behavioral aspect of it, right? Which is the men and women who are coming from a behavioral standpoint when it comes to understanding or interpreting love from and they are correlating it with long-term attachments, deeper connections, deeper attachments, spiritual attachments, ancestral attachments. Because every time you connect with someone, right, you're not just creating a soul tie, you're not just creating a spiritual tie, you're also creating an energetic tie, you're creating a chemical tie, you're creating an ancestral tie. It's not just their personality and their emotions and their fluids that you're transferring, you're also transferring ancestral traumas. If you know a little bit about genetics and epigenetics, gene expression, you know what I'm talking about. You better understand what I'm talking about when I say that. Okay, so that's a whole nother lesson. So when it comes to, please tap the screen, make sure you're tapping the screen, right? So when it comes to, and by the way, if you're liking this information, if it's resonating with you, you know, it is, if you feel the energy is very positive, please make sure you subscribe. Okay, it's absolutely free. There is no memberships. Please subscribe, like, share. It all helps to support what we are doing, okay? Because it's never me doing anything by myself. What we are doing, okay? And so the purpose of this is to what, right? Begin to feed more of the very people, places, and things that is actually good for us to consume. That's going to make a difference. I always thought soul ties was BS. Hi, beautiful. Hi, honey. I haven't seen you in a while. Glad I caught you. No, it's not that it's BS, love. It actually, there's a thing called but not on the soul, like a spooky term, but there is a such thing as a spiritual tie. There is a such thing as a soul tie. There is a such thing as an ancestor. There's connections, I would say. So whether you, let's say if you already have an association with soul tie, think of it also as just a connection, a bond, right? A transfer, right? Because when you connect with someone, you're exchanging energies. And the more you exchange those energies, and dependent on how you exchange those energies can definitely and will definitely alter your DNA. It will alter your cognitive programming. It will alter your frequency, your emotions. It will alter you in many different ways. And a lot of us are unaware of this. So we wondering why we get to being batshit crazy when we allow a man or woman to come into our life. We wonder why we go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We wonder why. Right. And you have a lot of people who are sharing misguided surface level information with you. That's not helping you. It just isn't, right? So understanding love is also understanding what happens on a chemical level. Are the energies only exchanged through penetration? No. Energies are just like, okay, so look at it like this. Right now, you and I, number 9, we're exchanging energies. We're exchanging energies right now. The more we exchange energies, the more you frequent my lives, the more I communicate with you, the more we are in each other's world, whether physically or, in the outer world, right? The more the influence. So there doesn't have to necessarily be a penetration in order for the energies to exchange. There is always an energy exchange. The effects of the exchange is determined by the exchange and how the energy is being exchanged. So when you get into the physical exchange, and when I say physical in regard to what you're saying, the actual part of, like, it's called sacred sex exchange, that's what you're speaking about. But I'm speaking about just an exchange, period. Right? Because you exchange energies with your children, you exchange energies with your loved ones. It's still a connection that has been made. It's still the connection and the energy. You get it? Okay. Well, you said you understand. Oh no, you said it's interesting. Yes, it can be. Right? So when you are children share a spiritual genetic exchange from their parents. We are connected to each other in many ways, right? It passes down. The exchange happens and is going to continually happen as long as we are directly or indirectly handing it down, transferring it. And so a lot of times we're unaware that we're transferring anything, especially if you don't understand fundamentally what epigenetics is and genetic is, and y'all know what cloning is, right? So just use that analogy. Y'all know what cloning is. Use that analogy. So when it comes to, right, chemicals, right, the commonality when we're talking about love and attempting to understand love, right? Y'all also want to understand that there are more chemicals, neurotransmitters, right? That are being released in the body. A lot of y'all are experiencing it and y'all don't realize that y'all experiencing it. So when it comes to you mastering your emotions, when it comes to this thing called people talking about having emotional intelligence, baby, y'all talking about surface level shit. Because a lot of people who are speaking about emotional intelligence can't even explain what emotions actually is, let alone attempt to interpret what it is to help someone else understand what it is, right? So emotional intelligence is not just about regulating your feelings. Feelings is a byproduct. Feelings are the byproduct of what an emotion is. And the answer is actually in the word. It's motion. Words aren't just words for no reason, my loves, right? So understand this. Words aren't words for reasons. So if better understand emotions and love, right, you have to understand the chemical aspect of it, right? The commonalities. Whenever you are experiencing something, it is the cause of a chemical being released in your brain, transmuting to your body, that's giving you the specific emotion and the feelings that you are feeling. Dopamine, many of y'all heard what dopamine is, right? However, I know that enough of us don't really understand what it is, because we're still not regulating our life. So how can you say you truly understand something when you secretly still overly struggling with certain things, when your life is still not improving for the better? It's one thing to think a thing, it's another thing to speak a thing. It's a whole entirely different thing when you understand a thing, to be able to operate a thing, right? So whenever you are experiencing pleasure, and that can be pleasure from that you get from eating your favorite food, um sugar, eating, drinking your favorite drink, seeing your favorite person, visiting your favorite place, whatever brings you pleasure, that pleasure is coming from the dopamine that's being released in your body. So in the past, I have said a lot of us are DOPE heads, is because this particular thing, because you can become so addicted to pleasure. When we talk about addictions, we surface level conversations around addictions relate to, have been commonly related to alcohol addictions, drug addictions, things like that. But you can really, a lot of us are addicted to things like to this present day, because we love the dopamine that it gives us. If toxic conversations bring you pleasure, that's a dopamine hit. So guess what? The more you engage in that, the more it brings you pleasure, the more you're telling your brain to what? I need more of that dopamine in the form of toxicity. So you can become addicted to dopamine. Too much of anything ain't good, right? Dopamine is responsible for your motivation to repeat certain behaviors, and it can be those behaviors can be healthy or unhealthy for you and to you. Remember, keep in mind, what we feed gains power, and what we starve loses its power. What you consume, you become. This is why this is important, because in order for you to first decide that you want to change, not just want change, you have to understand the fundamentals and the foundational steps of how to get to that change. Every destination have a direct path. Every destination have a direct path. So when it comes to understanding love, when it comes to attraction, it comes to manifesting, when it comes to the reality, the life you live in, when it comes to the amount of money you have or don't, when it comes to the amount of people you have in your life or not, when it comes to you experiencing certain things or not, when it comes to opportunities or not, all of these things play a role. But why? Because all of these things have everything to do with you, right? Even though we're talking about what love is, it still play a part. It's still one of the threads in the beautiful tapestry of life, right? It's still one of the pieces to the infinite puzzle of life. And without fundamental pieces, baby, you guess what? You're never going to see or experience the full picture or the full season at a capacity in which you should, right? So serotonin is another one. Serotonin is responsible for our happiness. We call it the happiness chemical. It plays a part in the broader role regarding your mood regulation, right? This is where your balance or imbalance of your behaviors come from. The serotonin, the oxytocin. This is the love bonding hormone. And it's not all pertaining to romantic relationships. These are all relationships, all connections. So when it comes to love, remember in the previous section, in the previous presentation slide, we spoke about, we perceive love, we articulate what love is primarily based on the behaviors of love, what we've experienced love. That is of the physical part, the attraction part, and the attachment part. So when it comes to how you're physically responding to love, how you're on an attraction level responding to love, peace space, how are you, my love, peace skinny, or on an attachment, when it comes to attaching to people, when it comes to how you respond to people, right? No matter on a romantic level or platonic level, you also have to understand what's going on in your mind, because your mind is influencing your behaviors. When I say mind, I'm talking about your mental database, which can only be accessed by you going deeper into your subconscious. It is, your mental database isn't in your conscious mind, meaning it isn't in the forefront of your mind. It is below, it is inside. And when you're only operating from the physical aspect of you, guess what? You're not feeding the other parts of you, which means it's losing its essence, it's losing its vitality. I say this analogy and I'll say it again. Ignoring the other aspects of you, ignoring feeding the other aspects of you, nurturing the other aspects of you. I'm talking about, we are part mental, part physical, we are part mental, part soul, spirit, part physical. When you are only, if you are a gym person, if you are only going to the gym and you are only working out the right side of your body, guess what the left side is going to be doing? It's not going to disappear, but it is going to get weaker. It is going to get weaker, and eventually it's going to affect what? Everything you do. So when you're not gaining, growing, ascending, you are doing what? Descending, devolving, and self-destructing. So how do you go from destructing, self-destructing, to from devolving, from descending to evolving, ascending, and elevating, growing, expanding? You have to gain the information. You need new information. There's so many things. At times I be wanting to like tell y'all and show y'all and give y'all so much, because I know how it can definitely help you. I know it can. It's not a matter of if. It will and can. It's been proven not only in my life, but the lives of my mentees over the 15 plus years, and the lives of other people. You cannot convince me that everybody who is really out here authentically, truthfully living their best life, who are genuinely, authentically happy, blissful, hopeful, optimistic 80% of their day to day, you can't convince me that all of them capping. Impossible. And there are the smallest of things is separating you from living and experiencing what can be your greatest version of your life and your reality from that person. This, and so meanwhile, I want to give y'all everything. I be wanting to give y'all everything. All the 15 plus years, I just want to just like, just please, just get it. Just take the time. Choose you. Please choose you. However, I don't force, I flow. It is what it is according to what you think, know, and allow it. to be. Right? So I want us to so understand the chemicals, understand what's happening to your body when you're speaking of anything, particularly love, because we're talking about love this evening when it comes to, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, right? Because simply regurgitating, echo chambering the surface level shit of what men and women want, what men and women don't want, what it means to be feminine or masculine, or, how do I turn on a man and what turns off in a man, frequently, just like, it's foolish. It's asinine, and it's hurting you in more ways than one. So understanding what's going on chemically in your body, what's going on mentally in your body, what's going on in your body, and you cannot see it with your eyes. However, it does not mean that something isn't happening. No one ever sees cancer growing in their body until they go to the doctor and get a damn CAT scan, PET scan to reveal it. So just because you can't see or reflect it happening doesn't mean that it's not happening. But you're going to feel it when it happens. You absolutely going to feel it. And then all of a sudden you like, oh God, I wonder why life is just all of a sudden it just went to hell. It all of a sudden just went to hell. You ain't just get there just to get there. Nothing just pops up in your fucking life. I ain't even going to go through cortisol because that's just it. In summary, when it comes to you understanding what love is, when it comes to so many lost and blonde women, with all due respect, subscribing to this men aren't capable of love is not substantiated. If everything that exists is a frequency, which we established that everything is energy, everything is frequency, go argue with someone that wants to argue with you back. Everything is frequency. Everything is energy. If everything that exists is frequency and energy, then love, just like any other word that we use in correlation to our behaviors, the experiences of the behaviors, right? To describe how we perceive something or someone is also a part of that. So the idea and the concept that men and women isn't capable, that we cannot understand, right? That love is specifically this or that isn't valid. Is it solidified? Is it substantiated? Okay. Which is why a lot of us come to the conclusion and we say, well, it's really challenging for me to articulate because some things just are that, a variety of things. Both can be very true at the same damn time. Both, right? That's what, yes. Yes, I agree. And a lot of women are adherent to that. Many women. Many women. And it's not proven. It's not. Yes, I agree, number 9. I absolutely agree. And it was sad because there was a lot of women that were coming up that would that were feeling really, really bad because they were disregarding their own sons because they were so captivated, and they grew and they developed an addiction because she became their dopamine hit. Her essence, her aura, her message became their dopamine hit. And so they were willing to discard their own sons, their own fathers for that nonsense, all to come to the conclusion that that was a real fucked up decision that they made. And what I'm saying is, you don't have to get to that point. You don't have to fall so deep in a hole You don't have to fall that deep in darkness. You don't have to fall that deep in disparity. You don't have to fall that deep in hopelessness in order for you to get it. It's okay that there are many interpretations, that there are many variables to a lot of things, including love. However, equally imperative is that if you do not understand the deeper fundamentals of these things, you will do the opposite of what you want to do, which is instead of evolving, you're devolving. Instead of growing, you're self destructing. So, all of it is important. All of it is very, very important. So yeah, I'm gonna keep on sharing the message. I'm gonna keep on coming. I'm gonna keep on teaching. I'm gonna keep on it, because it all matters. It all matters, and it's all very, very important to me. Okay, because you are me, I am you, we are us. Okay, I ain't separate from you in totality. You aren't separate from me in totality. It's just that it is what it is. I'm a woman who only lives who only likes women, but I'll never say nothing like that. Ashe, I love that. I love that you stand in your authentic truth, all while not crucifying other people or shaming other people or degrading, emasculating or defeminizing other people simply because they're making different choices. You can educate, you can inspire, you can motivate, you can share, you can encourage, you can even correct in righteousness without doing all the despicable and disgusting things that a lot of us are doing today. Even though a lot of people that have crossed my path, baby, they work the nerves that I didn't think I had. I'm not excluded from the fields. I'm not excluded from governing principles. I'm not foolish enough to think just because I understand self-mastery, just because I'm aware, just because I'm advanced, I'm not foolish enough to think that I'm also not embodying my physical essence, and I'm going to feel the feels. I'm going to experience all the experience of my physical essence. I'm also going to experience what it is to vibrate in my spiritual soul essence as well as my mental essence. I'm not excluding. So yeah, it is what it is. There's a lot of people that work my damn nerves, but I won't crucify you. I won't shame them. At this level of mastery I am, you might get some sarcasm from me. You might get some you might get some shit that be like, girl, yeah. You might get that. But the hatred, the contempt, you won't get that. I reserve that for pedos, people who are truly wicked. Now, y'all get all the smoke. There's not an ounce of baby. There's not an ounce of in me when it comes to that, and I accept it all. And I ain't blaming shit on no imaginable devil or God, baby. It's all me, all me. I'm very clear, very accepting, very authentic, very integral about that. They both me. The one on this shoulder and the one they all me. The light, the dark, all me. The left, the right, all me. The in, the out, all me. The light, all me. The feminine and masculine, all me. The duality, all me. All me. In relation to, I understand duality and polarity. Right? So I'm going to continue to do what I do. I'm going to continue to come before y'all and share. Right? Because there's still a lot of people who are hurting, broken. There's a lot of people who actually want to change. They just don't know how. They just simply don't know how. And it's understandable. You cannot give what you don't have. It's as simple as that. And a lot of us were misinformed. A lot of us have been operating with so many unnatural programs and systems and structures that were never purposed to and for us to thrive. They were purposed for us to just survive. And survival mode isn't natural, right? Adrenaline is another chemical, which that is very natural for to make you more aware, right? To heighten your sense of awareness. But it's not for you to live your life in survival mode like a fucking bear is chasing you all day, every day. That's not the purpose. And a lot of us have been trained and taught to live in survival mode. When in reality, you're really just running from your own shadow. You're really just running from yourself when it really is simple sometimes to just stop and turn around, even if you're a little scared. So this is why I don't preach against fear. Like a lot of people preaching against it. It's a thing. Fear is a thing. Stop trying to dissolve fear completely more than you're attempting to understand it. Do it while because fear stems from ignorance. Think about it. People tend to fear what they don't know. Ignorance breeds fear. Fear is the byproduct of ignorance. Because if you knew the shit that them people done told you to be scared of, you would be like, what? How many of y'all used to be scared of the dark? Me? Pardon me. I used, baby. Let me tell you something. Don't put no teddy bear in my room. I didn't want a plant in my room. I didn't want a figurine in my room. And don't put shit in my room. Okay. It just, baby, when I tell you I wanted my bedroom to be bare, I don't want a curtain. I want the nightlight always on because, baby, the bed, my little bear, my little dog, it turned into a damn gorilla at night. It turned into a monster. The plant turned into a water zombie that was coming after me, right? Don't put anything in my room. I feared what I didn't understand. I didn't understand the dark. I didn't understand reflection of light. I didn't understand the shadow effect. I didn't understand those things. So I guess what? I grew to fear it. And then I had stupid people like some of my brothers and sisters who used to make me watch the damn exorcism, knowing I was already scared of the dark. I mean, where they do that? I'm still scared of the dark. I'm not scared of the dark no more. Only because I be going through sleep paralysis and astral projecting. I get it. I definitely understand that. Number 9. I definitely understand that. Right? It wasn't until my early adult years, the whole teenage years, that I finally faced my fears. It took, baby, I had some long nights. But I did it. I did it though, right? I did it. I had some long nights, but I did it. That I did it while I was fair. But when you understand certain things, you you don't allow them to defeat you. You don't allow them to control you. That's what I'm saying, right? The premises of what I'm saying. So, yeah, I was that type. I'm like, how y'all like? I'm scared of the dark, and y'all like they would make me sit and watch things like The Exorcism, The Exorcist. Baby, when I tell you that scarred me for life, not for life. I take that back. Gotta retract. I gotta pay attention to words that I speak, even when I'm joking. Right? You see, I'm so consciously aware of this shit. I'm like, pull that back. Right? Retract. Take it back. Um, it did a number on me. I'll say that it did a number on me, baby. That baby, it did a number on me. That movie right there, the original, that movie did a number. Let me tell you something. As I matured and I started learning all the things that I learned, especially when it comes to deeper spiritual things and spiritual practices, right? I don't play. I don't play around with the spiritual realm like that. That's why I always encourage y'all better stop listening to these goddamn readings and let me read you. I can tell you what it, baby, y'all playing a dangerous game. And the consequences are going to be so much heavier for those people who are playing the game, not the one who's initiating the game. All of them fake ass tarot readers, spiritual readers, I don't give a damn of none of that shit. Playing them spiritual games like that. All of them. All of them. All of the frauds. All of the frauds. Y'all playing a dangerous game, and the people who are listening to them thinking it's a fucking game, y'all playing a dangerous game too. It's still scary. Still scary. Right? So listen, I hope you all have enjoyed the live. I gotta take these twists out of my hair. Baby, the shrinkage be real. I say, you know what? I had to give my hair. I give my hair a break. I don't like things on my head. So like even though I wear the wigs and stuff like that, I like to be free. So I wash and condition and moisturize my hair and just twist it up, like every week and just, let it breathe. And I'll just throw on my hat and my hoodie and we good. We good. So we need to stay away from the ones on TikTok too. Shit, most of them, all the ones I've seen, I have not come across a genuine I wouldn't say all of them, but I haven't came across one who I know that is responsible in their spiritual practices that is on TikTok. I haven't. That's just me. Doesn't mean that they don't exist. I haven't yet. They be telling you the love of your life, the love of my life, miss me and coming back. Girl, bye. Don't tell me nothing. Return to sender. I don't even entertain stuff like that because I'm very, very aware. I know too much. When you don't know what auto suggestion is, when you don't understand subliminal messaging is, when you don't understand subliminal programming is, when you don't understand any of these things, baby, you shouldn't be consuming none of that shit. And if you are consuming and if you are drawn to it, you should really sit back and question why. Because I guarantee you lacking in some area. You lacking in some area. What about hypnosis? You talking about public hypnosis? Hypnosis is a very serious thing. Very serious thing. You got frauds, hypno frauds too. Private, if the hypnotherapist is experienced, I would say that, because a piece of paper doesn't necessarily qualify a hypnotherapist as experienced. However, if that hypnotherapist is absolutely experienced and is responsible, right? Absolutely. Hypnotherapy is a very profound practice in cognitive programming. Very, very profound practice in cognitive reprogramming. A lot of people go to and buy into hypnotherapists because, and that's what I was talking about, while we need each other or need something else outside of ourselves or something or someone else, right? Because the only way you can change a mental program is by going in the subconscious. And that's what hypnotherapy is. Hypnotherapy bypasses the conscious level and goes deep into the subconscious level where the programs, the dominant programs are. So a lot of people who have the funds, they will go to a hypnotherapist because it's too challenging on their own to dive deeper into it, because it's not accessible. It's not easily accessible. So when I hear people saying, oh, speak affirmations, do the vision board, do the listening to certain things, that's not it all be all. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. It does not work like that. So yes, that's what hypnotherapy is. That's what the what's that system is. Some of y'all, there's now what is it? Shit. It's something that it's this new mental service that they have now that works on your neurological system, right? I forgot. It's called is it MDS? It's something. It's something. There's a technical word for it, right? So hypnotherapy, absolutely effective if it's done right by all of the things I said. You're welcome, Danae. Absolutely effective. This is why a lot of people go to hypnotherapists for like to stop certain addictions that they have. Why? Because they for lack of better terms, whether they know it or not, they understood that they damn affirmations wasn't working. All they vision boards they created wasn't working. Them just thinking positive wasn't working, because it doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. So when I hear certain people, I'm like, oh, y'all annoying and fucking frustrating and just depending on who it is, sometimes I'm like, oh my God. And some other words come out my mouth, but I ain't gonna say that on live. Baby, no. Well, it depends on what you talking about. Are you a Christian, my love? Respectfully asking to Talia, are you a Christian? Allow the Holy Spirit, baby. Mm-mm. Everyone doesn't subscribe to that concept or philosophy, my love. That's not it either. Because even it don't matter how spiritual you are, that it don't matter how spiritual you are, that ain't going to change your reality if you want certain things changing your reality either. How many of our beautiful Christians and brothers have been fighting the same fucking devil? How many of our Christians and brothers have been praying? Grandparents, great grandparents, ancestors been just praying alone. That shit ain't work. Not as much as it should be working. You know how many Christians, how many of our brothers and sisters who are Christians who are still struggling? So no, that doesn't work either. Can you go more in depth about auto suggestion one day? Yes, I actually, number 9, I did a live on that auto suggestion. sometimes I repeat lessons that I gave because I realize that, you know, a lot of everybody is not going to be there for every lesson. So I understand that too. But yeah, I'll repeat that lesson one Saturday. I definitely will. Because that was a good lesson. Understanding what auto suggestion is powerful. Never, I think it was Never Goddard. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name. Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard. He's also a person that spoke about auto suggestion. And it's definitely in the book. I think it's in the book Think and Grow Rich, where he speak about auto suggestion. But a lot, why do you think that like marketing is $1 trillion industry? Why do you think that media is $1 trillion industry? Auto suggestion is really powerful, really powerful. And these are some of the tactic and tools that that they use to keep people mentally enslaved. Because here's the thing, one who controls the mind controls the body. It's as simple as that. And when you understand energy alchemy, when you understand alchemy, period, you understand that you can absolutely control people from afar. And you don't need a lot to do it. You don't need a crystal ball. You don't need a damn Ouija board. You don't need a crystal. You don't need a lot of that stuff. I mean, those elements enhance what you're doing, right? However, you can absolutely control people's behaviors, and auto suggestion is one of those tools. But I'm not going to go deep into that. That's a whole nother ATM live. ATM, I mean all things self-mastery, not an automatic money machine. Hi Vanita, how are you, my love? Yes, it is. It's also spoken about in a Kabbalion. I actually did a book club. I no longer have the book club, but I when I had my book club, that was one of the first books that we did that I broke down, is the Kabbalion. I still have it here. It's like one of my favorite books. See all my sticky notes. We actually broke this book down. I broke this book down. I broke down like Trismegistus, who they really talking about. Okay. Trismegistus is really Thoth. Okay. And the initiates is really of carbonated beans. I broke down all of that. Like I broke down that book. I might put some of the work out there, or do it again in the future. Not sure. But it was really, really, really good. Because a lot of times we read things. Oh, by the way, for those who you don't, for those of y'all don't know, earlier, one of the loves was mentioned in my book. Okay, this is my last published book. I am and proud to be a best-selling published author. This is self-publishing author. This is my last book, Attracting What and Who You Desire. This is the book that she was talking about, which isn't just a book. There is 11 chapters with a lot of profound insight and wisdom that can help you on your journey to mastering self, recreating and designing your reality. It's not just a book. It has 11 chapters and 11 exercises correlated with the chapters. So it's not just a book. It is a very, what do they call them, tools? Multi-use tool, right? That you can use this. Because a lot of us, sometimes we don't know where to start. We don't know where to start on our journey. We don't know how to get to where to get to. Right? Remember in the beginning, I said every destination has a direct path. In this book, in these 11 chapters, gives you what you need foundationally, right, to get to all of your desired destinations. And it gives you exercises that you can begin applying, especially when you're not ready to invest in one-on-one mentorship. One of the reasons why I created this book. Very profound book. If you are interested, baby, in really choosing you, and reading is fundamental. Okay. You can order your signed copy, and it also comes with a free gift. So that's in the link in my bio if you're interested. That's your favorite book too? Yeah, I wish I could have joined the club then, just because I want to know. We had a lot of fun. It was a lot of things that they was unaware of when it comes to the Hermetic principles, which are only the metaphysical principles. Okay. But leave it to Beaver. They will have you thinking that the YT man was the Trismegistus. Okay. They will have you thinking that he was the originator of those metaphysical principles, and that is very untrue, not substantiated. That is a disputable notion. Y11, that is one of my favorite numbers. It is very significant to me. When you understand a little bit about gematria, which is numerology, numbers have meaning. Numbers are frequencies, right? And so 11 is one of the symbols and frequencies that has always showed up in my path. And now that I became more, in the past years, I became more aware of its significance. A lot of the things that I do is intentional and with using gematria and numerology. So it has 11 chapters. It has 137 pages, which equals 11. A lot of things I do is 11. If you check my page right now, I have 11,000.1 supporters, what they call followers. I call y'all supporters, my family. And my following was at 1,100, but I just unfollow a couple of people because I don't want to see the shit. I just don't want to see the nonsense because I'm mindful of what I consume. So but I have two more people. What I think it's at 1,097. So I have a couple of people that I'm actually going to follow, that I'm open to follow, to put that number at 1,100. So that's why the number 11, because it's very significant. That was me from Tik. Oh my goodness. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, that is so dope. I'm so fine. Oh, that makes me happy. That makes me so happy to know that's you. That's so dope. See, listen, now I know. Now I know. Now all I need to know is to put. Can you put in the comment section like break down your name again, and so I can get it, because I really want to address you, because you're such a beautiful person. I really want to, but I'm so happy. Like it feels like, oh, like we like we here now. I love it. Oh shit, that's dope. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that. Now listen, we family real good. We family real good now. Not real bad. We family real good right now. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. So listen, yeah, y'all tap in, get the book, tap in. Y'all want me to tell y'all the 11 chapters? I can read y'all the 11 chapters real quick. If y'all want to, only if y'all want to. Put a 1 in the comment if you want to hear the 11 chapters. I'm not selfish. I'll let you know. Put me or one in the comment section if you want. I can tell you the 11 chapters. It's a phenomenal book. I don't know about y'all, but I like reading. Reading is fundamental, baby. It's the only way. Aishi. Did I say it right? Aishi. Aishi? Aishi. I said that right, right? I see you, Tamika. I see you, Danae. I'm about to tell y'all. I'm about to tell y'all. I see you, Toya. I'm about to see y'all. I said it right. Aishi, right? I got the last syllable is correct. She. Yeah, I did it. Y'all listen. Y'all, we know. Some things are just inside. Okay, so I'm gonna give the 11 chapters. Let me get back to okay, so the first chapter, I talk about making a decision, how important making a decision is. That's like the fundamental step in changing or redesigning your reality. In the second chapter, we speak about awareness. And remember, every chapter have an exercise. The third chapter, I speak about finding your identity, because a lot of us have lost our identity. I'm not going to go into the long story, but a lot of us have lost our identity because we've been wearing so many different masks, right? And that's very natural. So I speak about the importance of redefining, finding your identity. In the fourth chapter, I speak about your behavior patterns, right? The deeper core and the reasons to why you do the things you can do, why you do the things you do so you can change it. The fifth chapter, I talk about the law of assumption. The sixth chapter, I talk about the law of attraction. The seventh chapter, I talk about energy alignment. This 8th chapter, I talk about time and energy management. I put time because I don't really subscribe to time, even though I speak in relevance to the one of the concepts of time, because that's what a lot of people relate time to. So is in chapter 8, I break down time and energy management and the importance of it. Setting your intentions is in chapter 9. Chapter 10 is letting go, which that is the longest chapter in the book. Letting go. I spend a lot of time on chapter 10, because a lot of us, because we haven't let go of certain things, get the book. You can read about it in the book. And finally, chapter 11 is limited to limitless. I show you how to move from a limited mindset to a limitless mindset. And after every chapter, like this is how the first chapter looks. Sneak peek. This is how the first chapter looks, right? Making a decision. And what the hell did I just do? All right, and after I'm gonna show y'all the exercise. Well, one of the exercise, each chapter have a few exercises. So this is one of the exercises. This is another exercise in chapter 1. This is another exercise. This is one of an exercise. One of my best exercises, actually, that I teach. This is another exercise in the book. That's chapter, what chapter? Behavior patterns. That's chapter 4. So it really is. I'm really, really grateful, and I'm really proud of this. This is another great exercise, and that's in your behavior patterns. Okay, it really is a phenomenal book. Attracting what and who you desire. And I'm currently working on my 4th book, Applying the Law of Attraction. That is going to be the sequel to that book. So it's really, really good. And you get a free gift. Okay, it's time to go. My reminder, Echo, Alexa just reminded me of my time frame. It's time for me to recalibrate my energy and do my nightly rituals. Listen, again, infinite gratitude for all of you who have been with me, shared your positive energy. Shout out to you. Infinite love, divine enlightenment, and peace to you always. Thank you so much for being here. May the words and the information that you have heard, that you have learned, may it seep into your mind, into your body, into your soul, and may it do whatever it needs to do, which is at some point make you feel uncomfortable enough for you to want to do something about your changing your reality. Again, this is ATM. This is All Things Self Mastery Podcast. I am your host, mentor, and educator, Venus Scott. And I am always honored when you share your most invaluable essence and energy with me, to exchange your beautiful energy with me. So until next time, those of you who know, I never say bye, baby. It ain't never bye, honey. It's until next time. Next time. So until next time, I love you. I mean it, because I love myself. Um, Make sure you are subscribed, that you are supporting, hence following, so you won't oftentimes miss when I come live weekly to share another All Things Mastery lesson with you. Mwah. I forgot